Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Shenanigan, and today we are actually going to talk about the buff of one of the new champions, or rather, one of the new buffs of one of the old champions, and that'll today be Massacre. So, I've not yet actually played around with Massacre yet, and as far as I'm given the understanding that now, based on this minor buff that he has, it is going to be easier to build up to get the bat incinerated. As you can see in the awakened ability, the critical rating is increased if the opponent has zero incinerate buff. Unlike before, it was only increased when the opponent had no buffs. So since the stun debuff did count as a debuff, beg your pardon, this would not trigger, and that's why this was probably one of the least useful awakened penalty. But now it looks like it's better. Other than that, the special attack 2 has gained more attack rating and more block penetration. The special attack 3 does damage in 5 seconds instead of 20 seconds like before, and the time for the bat being ignited has increased. So I'm actually not going to go through a lot of content, but what I'm going to do is just give it a test and see if now the band gets ignited faster, because that was actually one of the biggest issues that I had with Massacre, and probably one of the reasons why he was actually considered underrated or possibly unused champions. Though I don't believe that he will still be rated higher, because he should still be overshadowed by Domino in the synergy. Hmm. How did he miss that? Okay, there was a lot of damage, and I've actually enabled suicides as well, so that's probably going to affect the damage, certainly. Let's try the SP1 now. Oops. I think I'll probably just get Nick Fury. Why is Winter Soldier just trending like that? No, but I'm definitely seeing that it's much easier to gain the ignite charges now. Are you getting noticing this? Okay, that was a lot of damage. I bet if I do an SP1 right before I reach an SP2, then probably run to an SP2, that'll probably be much more of a damage. It's just not standing still. And that was also good damage in SP2. 102 hits isn't bad. Let me just change the synergies once and try this fight again. I'm gonna add where's the bleed? There it is. Probably her, and I think that should be it. Let's give it another try. So I don't know if there was something wrong with the AI in this fight, but it seemed like when the soldier is not wasn't actually behaving properly. So see, this was really easy reaching the bad ignite phase. It used to be really hard, and if the bat did not ignite, then you had to go to an SP3 first. But now that doesn't seem to be the case. Why does he just stand like that? So I think we had around 50k damage on the SP2 on block, so that's definitely much more. So I think the biggest problem is not worrying about getting the bat ignited anymore. Okay, that was really good. Less than 80 hits. I would actually even say probably 78 hits or so. And we didn't even use an SP1. Earlier, when I used to fight with Massacre, rather using Massacre, I would cycle SP once more because it was actually really hard getting the bat ignited and then making sure that the opponent stays ignited. So we keep refreshing it. But and of course that was the main source of damage. But now it seems that SP1 is good, but the main source of damage has actually drastically shifted to SP2, especially when the opponent is blocking. Kind of like when you when you use Alchemaster, you want to make sure the opponent is blocking. You hit into their block before you're doing an SP2. So that seems to be similar to what is happening right now. Maybe we can do something like that with Massacre as well once we hit into the block with the SP2, because there's a 1 second timer on the opponent who'll miss the attack. Maybe we can just start with the heavy right after, and let's see if we can do that. So if you get an opening where the opponent is blocking, just go ahead and hit into their block, gain power while hitting into their block. It worked. Okay, it didn't work this time. I was trying to do a heavy. Let me do SP1. Now the opponent's block proficiency is 0%. Okay, this should... I actually didn't see how much it hit. Alright. Okay, so I'm actually really impressed with this buff. This seems to be, well, not as good as Angela's buff, but seems to be really good. They have extremely improved the way the bat gets ignited, and that was actually the main reason. I don't believe that he's going to be as underrated as he used to be before. Earlier, when I used to take him to a quest with Domino and Red Hulk, I would only use him against champions who are immune to incinerate, but not someone like Human Torch or Red Hulk. Maybe someone like Void, or probably, well, who else is immune to incinerate? Um, Colossus, I believe. Because what he would do was, if the champion is immune to incinerate, he's actually going to do energy damage instead of incinerating, and each incinerate charge he has would actually also do some energy damage as well. So yeah, he's still going to be useful for that, but this new change seemed to have improved a lot on the best thing that he used to have. I'm yet to actually test on the hood, and I'm going to do that in a day or two. But this buff seems to be excellent. Just so you know, I've loved Angela's buff so much that I've actually given her around 82 6 stones, and now she has a 25% chance to reduce the timer or duration of the damaging debuff. So once I have four buffs on me, I will not actually take any damaging debuffs. I've actually tried it on the first chapter of the new monthly event quest. We'll probably go ahead and make another video on that. But that was actually about it on this video. There's not much to show. For Massacre, we all know how we use him. Where we take him. But this buff is also something good done by Kabam. Let's see after in the next video how the hood buff has turned out. But thanks for watching. Please do like the video if you did like it. Give me a feedback and do consider subscribing. Thank you for your time and have an excellent day. Goodbye.